Meanwhile, let's go.
What's going on, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Flex and Rants show. As you can see, I'm here in sunny Jamaica, mate. I had to just chill. I'm by the beach, bro. Where you at?
Bro, I'm at Ozil's house. We're about to play some Fortnite, fam. You not seen that I've been streaming, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm ready for this.
Oh my God, we wish we are back here, as you can see, in the room. But, you know what I mean? Social distancing and stuff, as you can see. A little bit of a bigger gap. Get back.
That's fine, bro.
What we're going to talk about this week, man, we are going to talk about Paul Pogba. And you know what? Because of everything that's going on right now in football and in the world, more importantly, it's actually going to lead to a lot of players, not just Paul Pogba, but we're going to talk about Pogba, actually having to stay at clubs, even though they don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, we know Paul Pogba's thoughts. We know what's likely to happen if this was a normal situation. But what's your thoughts on, and you guys at home actually, about, you know, the potential of Pogba having to stay? Like, forget what might have been a discussion in the summer and all that. We know that this is not going to be a normal summer, whatever it looks like. So what's your thoughts on Pogba having to stay? What impact do you think that will have on the rest of the squad? And is it a positive thing? Bearing in mind whether or not he's the best player or not, he does want to leave, but he will probably have to stay, considering what's going on in the world.
It's a positive thing for us, you know what I mean? It's a positive thing. Listen, in the dressing room, he's a good character. Everyone loves the guy. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's been nothing coming out of the actual squad to suggest otherwise, other than nonsense from the media. Do you know what I'm saying? The likes of, we know who they are, ex-players talking crap, and other people in the media talking about Paul Pogba being bad for the dressing room, but everything coming out of the club suggests that that's not the case. Even the manager said so. Like, the players love him, they respect him. Rashford came out in the interview recently saying that Pogba and Martial, he loves playing with them. You saw the videos of Agallo, Pogba, Eric Bailly.
Vibes,
they're happy. Do you know what I'm saying? So all this nonsense about the dressing room will be super happy that Paul
Lindelof's just chilling around
at
Pogba's
house. Do
in
you
the
know what I mean?
Pogba
He doesn't
arena.
have to be there. Do you know what I'm saying? So this guy is a massive. He should have been the captain at the club. He's a massive personality.
But he wasn't the captain because he doesn't want to stay there, though.
Nah, but bruv, he was
Can't make him the captain now.
De Gea got the vice captaincy stripped from him because he spoke out against Oli, hasn't received it back. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Pogba
had it in a few games.
He had it in a few games, but because of the thing around his future.
Yeah.
But really, that's rightfully his, innit? Because of his future and this, that, and the other, he doesn't have it.
I don't think it's rightfully his,
I think
though.
it's rightfully his.
But how can it be rightfully his if his attitude doesn't want to be
Bro, it's rightfully his in terms of his ability, in terms of his standing in the dressing room. There's no way that Harry Maguire is higher regarded than Paul Pogba in the dressing room.
Yeah, but he's got more commitment.
Or De Gea. Man's not talking about commitment. Now
But that's what it's based
bruv,
on.
No, it's not, bruv. Like,
What?
your captaincy is not.
Your
just
captain has
based
to
on
want to
commitment.
be there.
Your captain, bruv, he doesn't not want to be at the club. It's just that he's open to a move because United are crap, bruv, and they're not fulfilling where he should be. And fair enough, but the facts are, look at Aubameyang. He's Arsenal captain, bruv.
But he's come out.
Of him saying that
yeah, but you see, but there's a big difference with that because
There's no difference.
But nah, there
The
is.
difference
If
is,
Pogba would have come out and done what
bruv,
Aubameyang
bruv,
done, we couldn't say
bruv.
shit. Aubameyang said, "I want to stay at Arsenal." He said that.
He said he wants to stay, but I don't mean he's staying.
It might not. And if it, but at least he come out and said it.
So what?
Nah, Rand, you can't
So
say that.
what, bruv?
But if Pogba would have come out and said,
Pogba can
I
say-
love it here. I know I'm coming to the
Pogba
end of my
can come
contract,
out
but I
and
want to
say-
stay here. If he
Bruv,
goes, then everyone can call him a
bruv, let
scumbag
me
afterwards.
Speak now, blood. Pogba can come out and say he wants to stay at Manchester United. As soon as he has a bad game, man are going to chat shit anyway. That's a fact. I'm not trying to hear none of that. Because when Pogba has come out and said in previous times that, boom, like Manchester's my home, you know what I mean, I'm happy I came back this time. It still ain't good enough for man. As soon as he has one bad game, it's like, oh, you don't want to be here, bruv. Oh, he's wearing a Juventus shirt the other day, put in the caption that,
Yeah, he had
I'm
to
just
safeguard
supporting my
himself for
friend.
that.
And guys are still out chatting shit, bruv, because they want to chat shit about Pogba, so bun all of them. So I understand why Pogba wants to leave. But at the end of the day, he's not unhappy at the club. He's never said he was unhappy. He's not saying he's unhappy now, bruv. He's open to a move because United aren't matching his ambition.
Is he saying he is happy then? What is he saying?
He's saying
What is
that
he
he's
saying?
open to a move, but he's not unhappy. If Paul Pogba was unhappy, he would have forced the move.
So is that like being with your girl and say, I don't mind having an ex-girl, but I'll stay with you?
No.
But that's what it is like saying.
No, it's not, bruv. Like, if you're unhappy, you're unhappy, innit? If you're unhappy in a relationship and you stay, that's your business, innit? He's not unhappy. He's just open to a move, bruv.
You know the bit when I was reading that, I think what you see when you're saying he's like, he doesn't hate Manchester United, but he wouldn't mind a move. But because he likes Oli, he's not going to force a move.
Bro, it's not because he likes Oli, it's because he loves the club. Look at David De Gea. David De Gea was open to a move to Real Madrid for 5 seasons and he didn't go. Where was all this heat for De Gea? Why wasn't everyone saying, oh, well, De Gea hasn't come out and said...
But he's had consistent, but I think that's what I'm saying.
De Gea hasn't been consistent. He's been consistently bad for 2 years.
The last 2 years, but in his whole, he's been in nearly 10 years, he's given a lot more than Paul Pogba.
Yeah, because he's been there longer. But it don't matter. The facts are, De Gea was open to a move to Real Madrid to the point where Van Gaal had to bench him because his attitude wasn't right. Nobody had the energy for De Gea. No one. None. Look how long it took De Gea to sign that new deal, bro.
It looked like because all his options were out.
Bruv, exactly. He waited until no one else wanted him and signed a new deal. But you lot don't have energy for De Gea, but you got energy for Pogba. I'm not trying to hear that. Because Pogba's better than De Gea, bruv. In terms of their standings in world football, bruv. De Gea's barely a top 10 goalkeeper in the world right
but he
now.
has been. He's been the best goalkeeper in the world.
Yeah, but it was. So was Paul Scholes. He can't play no more, like.
You
Do you know what I mean? It's the truth.
Bruv, you're not giving no respect that day. At one point, he was the best goalie in the world.
I'm not saying don't give
for
him
like
respect,
3 years
but
straight.
bruv, football's very much about what have you done for me lately. De Gea ain't done nothing in the last 2.5
Yeah, but you know what it is, though, Rants? Fans remember what you have
They
done,
can
though.
remember that, but there's no room for sentiment in football and business, bruv. Sentiment is the reason why Rooney was playing in midfield for us and we were carrying him for like 2.5 seasons, bruv. And LBG was like, you can't drop my captain.
Yeah, but loyalty
He was
can't be
playing
unquestioned.
Bruv.
If you can see someone's loyal,
Bruv.
you're still gonna get behind them. Worse
Waiting
than
until
to see
nobody
where they
else
haven't done
wants you
nothing.
before you sign the contract is loyalty now. Or we just picking and choosing like when it's loyalty and when it's not. De Gea's not at United now because he's loyal to the club. He's at United because no one else wanted him.
So
That's why
is
he's at
Pogba
the
not
club.
at the United because no one wanted to buy him in the summer? Didn't want to meet his
No,
value.
it's got nothing to do
Why
with
didn't
that.
if Real Madrid won it, why
because he
didn't
could
they
have
just come and
forced the move. The same as De Gea. His situation is the same as De Gea's.
Do you think the bids came in for Pogba last year?
Yes, but it wasn't enough. Same with De Gea. Real Madrid did bid for De Gea, but they didn't want to pay the 80 million or 90 million that we wanted. But they offered us 50 mil and Keylor Navas, and my man pulled the plug on it. But the facts are, offers came in for De Gea. De Gea wanted to go. He thought he was going, and he didn't end up going. And then he knuckled down and got on with it.
So if Pogba has to stay because of this climate,
He'll
what's
get on
going
with it, just like De Gea got on with it. But that doesn't mean De Gea wanted to leave any less than Pogba did.
Is it delaying the inevitable?
No.
So like the following season?
No,
excuse
it's
me,
not.
he's gone.
No, it's not.
So he could stay beyond that.
Bro, I told you that Pogba was going to sign a new deal anyway. I think that Paul Pogba wants to stay. He just wants to see the club, yeah, are matching his ambitions.
So why do you...
If Paul Pogba goes from Manchester United now to Real Madrid, it's not a massive step up. Do you know what I mean? You're going to a Champions League winning club, but Real Madrid are in a transitional period where all their best players now have peaked. Real Madrid have to buy 6 or 7.
They've got to go for a rebuild.
They have to go for a rebuild.
Yeah.
So if he's going from a club that's going through a rebuild that he's not familiar with, now that he is familiar with, to go to a club that's going through a rebuild that he's not familiar with, the only difference is he knows that Real Madrid will spend the money.
So does
Real
it come
Madrid
back
an
round
ambitious
to
club.
lack of options then? Because like you're saying, Real Madrid isn't a bigger step up as it used to be.
Yep,
if
it's
it was
not.
when they still had R9 and Raul and all that, then he
Yeah.
would have gone straight away. Bayern Munich are going through a rebuild. I'm not saying they're not better than us because they are.
They are better than us.
They are
but
better than
still
us, but it's a
another
rebuild. Juventus just come from there. All right, cool. Barcelona.
I don't see that happening. You know what I mean? I don't see the Barca happening.
PSG.
However, Barcelona's an option. PSG, would he go back to
Financial
France?
fair play, could they even get him?
Exactly. But this is it. But it's the same with
So
David
lack
De
of
Gea.
options,
Only
yeah.
Real Madrid wanted him.
Yeah.
No one else wanted David De Gea because he's expensive, bro. If David De Gea was going for 50 million, loads of teams would have been in for him.
So what do you think Pogba meant then when he said,
When
feels
he
like
said
we're
about
going back a whole
when
year?
Pogba said about the
When
new
he
challenge,
did say, what does that mean then? What does
you know
it mean?
what it means? Pogba was given assurances by Oli he could leave. Pogba thought he was leaving then. That's why he said that. Pogba hasn't spoken before then. He spoke like that
He's spoken after then, either.
Exactly. The reason why he hasn't spoken after them is because he said that because in his head he was leaving. That's why when Raiola came out and said something about Oli and this, that and the other, boom. That's what he meant. He said you told man to go. Remember when he said I don't own Pogba, you don't own Pogba, and he said that. You told Pogba he was leaving in the summer. Pogba's gone and said this, and then he hasn't left. So now Pogba looks like the bad guy, and all of a sudden it's a PR disaster. That's what happened. It's clear to see.
Followed by the accidental tweet they put out when Jose got sacked.
But
as
he
well.
didn't do that. Adidas already came out. And said that Adidas said that they had that schedule.
Do you know what? Rants is, you are the most realist guy in terms of there's no sentiment, see through things for a fact, right?
Yeah.
There's no way you can
Fact.
put your hand on your heart and tell me.
Adidas come
that-
out and said
Come
it
on,
was a
Rants.
sponsored post.
Come on.
Hey, Flex,
Come on.
Bruv,
You can't defend him that much.
I've been big
I
on-
love Pogba
bruv,
still.
Look how long I've been on social media, bruv. When it says sponsored, bruv, it's clearly scheduled, not by you. I can't put out a sponsored post for myself, but Adidas. Blood, they put money behind it. It was a sponsored post.
All right, let me ask
It's
you
a
this. Let me
fact.
ask you this.
And Gary Neville still owes man an apology for that. And he's not going to apologise
Nah, he's
to
never
Pogba
gonna
for
bring
that.
that
He's an idiot.
All right. Let me ask you this. I think I know what the answer is going to be. Could Pogba have done anything differently, right? And what do you guys think? Could Paul Pogba have done anything differently through this whole situation to come out better on the end of it? Or is he just a victim in this?
Bro.
Because I don't believe he's just a victim in this. I think he's overly criticised,
when he came out,
but he's not a complete victim.
When he came out and he said, oh, the new challenge thing, yeah, he didn't have to say that. Do you know
All
what
right, so that's one thing,
Paul
fair enough.
Pogba could have come out and said, oh, yeah, guys, guess what, I'm happy, this and that. But guess what? He hasn't come out and said nothing anyway about nothing. Apart from that one
But is
thing,
that not
he's
the
never
problem?
spoken. No, it's not the problem because not all players.
But clarity stops this circus, though.
What, did De Gea
I guarantee
did De Gea
you.
come out and say that he
No,
don't wanna
and the
leave?
same thing was happening. We didn't know.
Nah, but you man weren't sticking it on De Gea like this. You weren't, bro.
We were saying,
No,
well,
you weren't, bruv.
people were saying when he wouldn't sign
when De Gea
and the
wasn't
fax
saying
machine
nothing.
broke and Ed pulled the plug, yeah. After that, even when it was coming up to will he, won't he, but that last season, I remember saying it, especially you as well. We were saying Ollie should have been dropping him anyway because we didn't know if he was going to sign this thing.
Bruv, Ollie should have dropped him because LVG
and he was
dropped
crap.
him as well, bruv. When there was
Right, so the energy was there.
bruv, because when something's going on in his head, he don't play well. De Gea gets rattled so easy, blood. As soon as something's going on, his form goes out.
Yeah, you can see he just plays shit.
You can see he plays crap, bruv, and he's hitting the crossbar and he looks moody, bruv. Get him out. That's what LVG dropped him, bro. Like, it's there to be seen. His body language looks terrible sometimes. No one talks about his body language, but they talk about Martial's, bruv. Agendas, fam. I'm telling you, like, with Paul Pogba, he could do nothing right for a lot of these men, bruv. They always want to blame someone. Pogba's had loads of games, yeah, but he's been the best player on the park, bruv. A man still want to talk rubbish. We've been in the
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Heard man shouting. It was the same with Fred for loads of times.
Yeah.
When Fred was having good games, the man were like, "Oh, Fred was rubbish. He's rubbish." I'm like, "What game you watching?" There's certain players they can't do nothing right. Martial's another one, bruv. If Martial don't get a goal and assist in the game, he can have a great game. A man will say he's lazy, he ain't done nothing. I don't care about these man, bruv. I don't care about their opinions, innit? The thing is, Paul Pogba is one of the best footballers on the planet. Not just midfielders, best footballers, period, innit?
Yeah, no one can. I don't think those people are questioning his ability.
The way that a lot of
They're
this
not
fan
questioning his
base,
ability.
yeah, disrespect man, yeah, it's a joke, innit? And there's loads of footballers in world football. Neymar's another one. The guy's top 3 footballers in the world, comfortably, arguably top 2. A man talk about Neymar like he's any guy.
But has Paul Pogba shown maximum respect to Man United? You don't see it as he's shown disrespect.
I don't think he's disrespected the club. Like, every time he's on the pitch, I never see him and think, you know what, Pogba's not trying. Sometimes he had bad games, but who doesn't? Do you know what I mean? But because he's not one of them guys, he's got quite a languid glide, the way he glides across the pitch, and like, people say, oh yeah, but he's not sprinting.
But you know about it when he gets shifts to gear. You know about it.
But when do you ever see Pogba sprinting? Never. Even when he's running fast, he doesn't.
He's got like
sprint.
a gallop. He's got a weird gallop.
Like Yaya Touré's got, like Vieira had. Them man don't. It's not head down, and them guys just glide, innit? Even when Pogba was scoring goals, he was running the same. And then when you see his stats, he's outrunning everyone, even when he's playing bad and not trying. Like, what's man supposed to do, fam? It's a witch hunt, innit? And that's why I wanted him to leave for himself, bruv, because no one don't deserve this disrespect, bruv. Get rid of him, bring in a Longstaff and them dead industrious ballers that these man like, bruv. Or get in 3 McTominays in midfield and see what we do, bruv. Nothing.
I think what I would say is, I mean, you lot know my stance on it. You know my stance on it as well. I love Pogba. I 100% feel that he's always overly judged, overly criticised a lot of time, and there's definitely no doubt when he's playing well, he's the best midfielder. He can be the best midfielder in world football. I think where me and you differ in opinions, I think he could have done a lot more at certain points for me, just to say, like we spoke about the Aubameyang situation as a captain, or you're talking about him being lack of captain. I think if he was going to aspire to be that at United, yeah, he might have got treated badly by Jose, but in a new era, just come out and say, I know you could say you don't have to, but for me, if you want to stay at a club and you respect the club and you respect the fans, you just put them at ease if you want to stay.
No,
if you
I
do.
hear all of that.
Do you see what I'm saying? Because I would. I'm not saying you have to, but that could have put a lot of water over the fire.
Bro, I hear all of that, but you see me where I differ, yeah? Like, these guys are men, innit? Like, if you got ambitions at work and you want to get to a certain place and you feel like where you're working doesn't fit those ambitions, bro, I'm not coming out and saying stuff to appease the fans or appease the shareholders, bro.
But they're the people who pay your wages, though.
Nah, bro. Pogba pays his own wages. All these players pay their own wages because you get paid.
Well, because they're good at football.
Bruv, yeah, you get paid a certain salary based on how good you are at football, how marketable you are. You're an asset. You know,
Yeah, but without the fans and without the size of the club, you're not getting that piece.
That's fair enough, but it doesn't matter. He don't owe the fans an explanation for anything. Just like Martial didn't owe us an explanation for why he wasn't at pre-season because his girlfriend was pregnant. No,
but that's a personal matter. You're not saying, but you're not saying Pogba's not coming out and clarifying his future because he's got something else.
Is a personal matter because personally, you don't fulfill my ambition. Imagine if Pogba came out and said, you know what, I want to leave because the club don't fulfill my ambition.
Rooney
That's
did.
what Rooney did, exactly. But the
Rooney
difference
did.
is, they forgave Rooney. They wouldn't forgive Pogba for that, honestly.
But again, it goes off what you've done in the past for the club.
Bruv, Rooney is Rooney, Pogba is Pogba. My point is saying, certain man can say certain things, certain man cannot. So, he just said, right, I'm not going to say nothing. There's nothing wrong with that.
But he did though, because he was saying actually, if he would have kept that consistent.
He said the one thing.
But that's the one thing that started all this whole thing.
When he was leaving, and I think that was in pre-season.
It was in pre-season.
Well, there you go, because he thought he was out the door.
But why say it? Wait,
just
go.
He hasn't said nothing, and I said that's the only thing that maybe I think he shouldn't have said. But other than that, I don't see a problem with any of it. I feel like these fans are mad ungrateful, blood, for having a player like him. And you know what I mean? The players of that caliber are generational, bruv. You never know. We'll never get a player that good, probably again in my lifetime. I'm probably not going to see a player that good playing for us. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? And I'm resigned to that. But certain man, the way they're talking about man like he's just dirty dishwater, it's a dish.
But also though, I don't think as much how good he is, you can still you can't find another Paul Pogba, but what you could find two players for the price of him. You could. Because look at Bruno. Bruno's half the price of Pogba. Let's say, what is he? 60 million.
Yeah, that's not half the price.
Pogba's about 120, isn't it?
No, yeah, but Pogba was 90.
No, but he was 90, but his going rate now is probably about 120-ish, isn't it, let's say. So let's say Bruno's half the player that Pogba is. People could argue that, look at the impact that he's had. Don't get me wrong, Pogba's done that. Pogba's been doing that. I'm not in this camp of, oh, look, Bruno's doing things that Pogba could never do. No. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is in terms of the impact of the team and somebody who, in inverted commas, wants to be there for the longevity, you could say you can get two more players like the player of Bruno's impact that could be way better than having just Pogba in or half out.
Yeah, but when Pogba was playing where Bruno's playing now, Pogba had a bigger impact, bro. The facts are, man are not getting the best out of him because you're not playing him, where he's most effective, bruv. And also the man around him ain't that good. Like when Bruno had to drop into the double pivot in his first game, he looked dead, bruv. Bare man were like, oh, what? You don't paid all this money for this? But Pogba was they're creating 4, 5, 6 chances a game from that same position, bruv, because Pogba's just better.
I have a question for you. Right, so tactically, Man United's like two strongest periods under Oli. You had when he came, Pogba was playing. Yeah, everyone was like, oh yeah, I can see what he's doing. Yeah. Pogba's not playing.
Yep.
The dip
and now we're still relying on one player, Bruno.
But Bruno Fernandes comes back in and we're, oh yeah, I can see what he's trying to do now. So is it a fact that just because he didn't have that player in that position that he wasn't able to play the game that he wanted to play?
With Solskjaer.
Or is it a fact that it's still freestyle football and it's literally...
It's an argument for both because really...
I still don't know what game he's trying to play.
Yeah, but if you look at... Now it's gone to like an Oli conversation. But if you think about it, the injuries... When Oli did have his full-strength team, you could argue that our results were better because the likes of Pogba... Because like you said, you've got Martial, you've got Rashford, you've got Pogba, something good's going to happen sort of thing. Yeah. But then you have to kind of say, if you're hit with them kind of injuries... to those types of players.
Then you have to coach your way out of it. You know what I'm saying? You have to coach your way out of it and he's not good enough. Remember when Paul Lintz come in and he
This
said,
is literally like an Oli thing.
Remember when Paul Lintz
It's like you struck another match and just threw it on Rants and say,
remember when Paul Lintz came in and he said, bruv, anyone could have done what Oli did. And I was like, nah, you're waffling. And then I see what Steve Bruce done at Newcastle, and got them from nearly in the relegation zone to up.
Yeah, coach his way out, innit?
Well, there you go. And I'm thinking, bruv, maybe Steve Bruce could have done that.
Even the Southampton manager did it. Got them out of a rut.
But do you see what I mean, bruv? What Pearson's doing at Watford as well, bruv. A bit of morale on that. If you got fully put teams, as soon as Troy came back, they started picking up points. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes these little things help. But the facts are, man need to coach his way out of it. We still don't have a style of play. We still don't have loads of things. So for me, it's still very much down to individuals, bruv, actually doing well. And the best results for us come for when we've got our strongest teams out.
But they would though, wouldn't they?
Yes, but they should. But also, Like, good managers, have.
Look at Tottenham. Tottenham will tell you that.
Yeah, but teams, but again.
Take out Harry Kane and Son. What
well,
can we do?
there you go. And Jose ain't been coaching his way out of it because he relies on individuals. It was the same at Man United. He relies on individuals. He's a very
but you know what? You see the Jose thing? We've gone off topic again, but I love this. As much as it is funny because
Jose football looks just like Ollie's
Yeah,
football.
but what I'm saying is, the uncharacteristic thing about that, all right, they're conceding a lot of goals, which you don't associate with the Mourinho team. But if you don't have a proper goal scorer at all in your front line, how are you going to score goals? It's that simple. If you took out LeBron out of the Lakers and that, they're going to score 40% less.
Bro.
It's a fact.
No, but the difference is,
and if you ain't got someone on that level or half that level to even come in.
Scores goals, but also, like, he gets buckets, but he also assists, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bro. Not scoring goals and not creating chances are two different things, Flex.
Because they lost Eriksen as well.
No, but bruv, listen.
Chief creator.
Eriksen wasn't playing. Bruv, he wasn't playing.
Yeah, because he wanted to go.
But
before Jose even got there, Eriksen was done out.
Eriksen's form died probably like 18 months ago.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I'm saying they lost the player.
My point is, and the Chelsea came in. My point is,
and he looks alright. That's the only bright spot.
And Poch brought him in. But my facts are, like, bruv, if you're not creating chances, that's a bigger worry than not scoring goals. Because if you're not scoring goals because man are wasting chances, that's one thing.
Yeah, because you've got a crap striker.
There you go. Because then you can blame it on individuals and say, you know what? When you look at Chelsea create more goal scoring opportunities than even Manchester City. The reason why Chelsea are not above City, statistically,
is that a stat
per game? It's a fact. Do you know what I mean? And you look it up. They actually create more goal scoring opportunities, but they lack quality up front with Tammy Abraham and these men who miss chances. So with Chelsea, I'm looking at that stat and I'm like, you know what? If you bring in a world-class finisher or even a top striker in there,
like when Sir Alex got Van Persie, it's like we just need that.
Then we just need that one thing. But when I look at Manchester United, when Pogba's creating 6 chances a game on his own, when you take Pogba out, we're not creating any. We've had games where we've had no shots on goal. Bruv, the problem's not the strikers. But loads of people were caning Martial, remember?
Yeah, when he's feeding off hardly any strikes.
But we're not creating. So Manchester United.
But now we are though.
Yeah, exactly.
We have been creating loads.
Chances
because 29 goals in like the last 11 games.
Because Bruno's come in, because we're creating chances due to one player. But really, the system's supposed to create chances for you. That's the difference between the likes of Liverpool.
We're actually creating chances, Daniel James as well, but he just can't.
This is why with Liverpool, even when what's his name plays, Origi plays, Origi gets goals because he's still getting a supply line.
Yeah.
And Origi ain't that good. Origi's not starting for any team probably in the top 8-10.
I agree that it's all about systems and styles, and Liverpool are perfect proof of that.
There you go.
But I wouldn't say that, and I agree that we've lacked it a lot, but I would say that there was a sign that there's something brewing because you bring Bruno in. Well, exactly, that's what I'm saying. So then he's doing something about it then.
Yeah, of course, because
get better
players. But again, there's a ceiling to that. You can't always rely on your players, and that's always been.
But how do we know once you don't get all the players as the finished articles, then we judge him?
What? Then he's going to learn how to coach?
Maybe. He's got better players. Might be different.
Then the players will be coaching each other.
Because if he gets the results with these men,
with the best players, you've had the best results. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Pogba was there. He was thinking. And Bruno.
So if you bring Pogba, Bruno, Martial, Rashford and that, if you're a betting man, you're going to go, these men are probably going to score goals.
What you're saying is anyone can manage them then? Which is probably right. Because
so let Solskjaer do it then?
No. Because again, there's a ceiling to that. There's a ceiling to that.
The ceiling could be getting to a Champions League final. Poch done it. Poch done it.
Finish 5th or 6th or whatever. But the facts are, if you want to challenge for the title, you need more than that. If you want to challenge for big trophies, you need more than that.
Actually, before we wrap up this section, there was another player I was going to talk about in it. Let us know what you think about the Pogba situation. Rants has had his say. I've had my say. Josh has had his say. And let us know whether you think it'll be detrimental for Paul Pogba to have to stay, considering you talk about conversations that happened the previous summer. Imagine what those conversations will be like now. Paul, I know we said we probably would let you go at the end of this.
Bro, there's a global recession
it's
coming,
mad.
Bro.
No one's going to want to spend no peas. Even us trying to go and get everything.
Bro, they said if we don't finish the Premier League season, then the Premier League owe about 380-something million in TV rights.
Imagine that. That's what we're dealing with here.
So this is how
crazy.
big, this thing is.
It's affecting the whole economy.
This is affecting the whole world, bro.
Exactly. There's people losing clubs, jobs at clubs.
Losing jobs.
50% pay cuts or carts are asking
League 2 clubs and that are getting rid of everyone. Everyone that's not a member of staff that plays football or whatever. Bro, a lot of people getting laid off. League 1, League 2 teams, they can't afford to keep their club going without ticket receipts.
So in terms of the transfer market, imagine how ruined that's going to be.
Bruv,
people aren't going to want to spend 150 million on a man and that 120 million and that. So the knock-on effect. So let us know what you guys think about Pogba having to stay. Alexis Sanchez. This is a player now who's on more money than Pogba.
Bring back Mowgli, 400k. Man like Mowgli, fam. Bring him back.
He said, Rants, yeah? Well, let's say, you talk about things that have been said, and you might blame Ollie for this or whatever. You could blame Sanchez because he might have said, I'll tell you what, Ollie, I'll stay. Then Ollie's come out and said, yeah, you can stay, score goals. And then actually went, Inter Milan come, eh? Yeah, let me go there. He's going to be a player who has to come back. He's got a long-term injury now. He was injured long-term and came back.
He got like an ankle thing, but he's all right.
He was out for quite a while, though. He was out for like 2-3 months before. Came back, was in and out. But anyway, he's going to be our player coming back. If you've got a player in that dressing room now, you talk about the dressing room being a harmonious. So Paul Pogba definitely, I would agree in terms of the players like him. It seems like that. That's one thing. Alexis Sanchez, I don't believe they do like him. I don't believe that.
I don't think they dislike him, but what I heard is he's a bit of a recluse, isn't he?
Yeah, just keeps himself to himself.
I reckon him and Bruno would get on, bruv.
Could we make him play? Could we get him to play?
Yeah.
Would you just put him in reserve saying you already said you don't want to be here, so we know you're back here not wanting to be here. 400k a week.
I'll play him. I'll sit down with him and I'll say to him, listen, yeah, like you need to reintegrate yourself into the team. Do you know what I'm saying? This is what the team spirit's like. Do you know what I mean?
Because Ollie spoke a lot about that.
I'll say you need to reintegrate yourself into the team. You're here now.
Because the squad looks alright now.
And I'll say to him, if I don't see you're making an effort, do you know what I mean, with the boys, then you ain't playing, innit? But I'd give him another chance, mate, because I think him and Bruno would link up well, bruv. I think Alexis suffered a lot as well.
Where would he fit in?
Bruv, he can play up front as well, bruv. Man, I'm talking about Agallo and them things there, bruv. Alexis is a striker, bro. Like, he's a striker and he's not rubbish, because when he plays for his country, he bags. Do you know what I mean? And the difference is, for United, because we never had anyone creating deep, bruv, Alexis was dropping deep, trying to pick up the ball and all that. Bruv, just stay up there, bro. Bruno will find you. Pogba will find you. I think there's room for him if he comes. On
paper, in a FIFA team, it's such a mad team.
But that's what I'm saying.
Pogba, Bruno, Martial, Rashford, Sanchez.
Bro.
That's a mad
Bruv,
front three.
Cold.
But in reality...
No, but in reality,
but ain't Sanchez been Space Jam from a long time ago?
No, because for Chile, he's still bagging, bro.
Sucked out of him, bro.
But for Chile, he's still doing it.
All right, but for Chile, he is. But
in there.
Domestically, he's Space Jam, bro.
There's
he ain't got no powers, bro.
in there, bro.
But that's not Alexis Sanchez who we bought. I don't care what you say.
Lack of confidence.
He did it 3 times.
Real flex.
He did it 3 times.
Lack of confidence is real. Lack of confidence is real, bro. Like even the goal that he scored against Arsenal, in the cup when he went round the keeper and that, bruv, there's a player in there, innit? Like, he's not going to be the Alexis Sanchez that we saw at Arsenal, but I believe that there's definitely a player in there, bro.
And Jones? Smalling?
Smalling, but I'll take him back tomorrow, blood. Smile, come home, fam.
That'll be an interesting one, innit? If he
bro,
comes back
if we had to start the season, and no one could sign anyone, and we just had to bring back our loan signings with Smalling in there to cover for Bailly if he gets injured, instead of Lindelof, Sanchez comes back. Bro, I'll be happy with that squad to start with Pogba there, Bruno.
I'm not sure about the Sanchez one, man. I just think he really doesn't want to be here.
I just think, at the end of the day, we're paying your wages. You're on 400 bags, bro. You're not
you've got to try and get him to do something.
Not try, bruv. You're on 400 grand a week, fam.
No, well, as in we have to try. Where we could just dash him in reserves. I'm saying you've got to try and get something out of him.
When man's on that much money, I'll be like, bro, suck it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, you work for us. You know what I'm saying? There's the boys. Do you know what I'm saying? You man go and have a little sing and dance, bruv.
Okay. Let us know what you guys are thinking about the first section of the show. Very interesting topics, Pogba and Sanchez. All right, man. So with everything that's been going on as well, how you been doing in this last week, man? I mean, what do you think's going to be happening? Obviously, Prime Minister's been coming out and talking about things daily. You've got the NHS staff that are under massive pressure. My mum used to work for the NHS, actually. She works in cosmetic surgery now, but she may have to go back and help out and do her bit. Schools kind of shut, but even the school that I used to work in, they're still open because we've got vulnerable kids there with EHCP plans, educational healthcare plans. So those kids, not getting a proper meal, their one constant in life is being able to go to school. What's your thoughts on everything, man, and what you've been doing?
It's mental, innit? But it also, this is a stark reminder to everyone that, bruv, you don't have as much control over life or this world as you think you do. Do you know what I mean? Because one thing can happen and it's flipped everyone's existence upside down, bro. There's no one on this planet that's not affected by this. No one on this whole planet, bro. So it lets you know, innit, that bro, this we're just living here, bro. This ain't our planet. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Sometimes it's humbling, innit? It just lets you know that we're quite insignificant, bro. Like, really, when you think about it, because every other animal's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're the only people being affected by it. Your dogs and that, they ain't getting corona, bro. They're cool. Do you know what I mean? Your dogs are fine. Your dogs just running around like normal. You know what I mean? The foxes are still out there raiding your bins. They're fine. We're the only people being affected by this, bro.
But also, it does show, like you said, it does show you like how much for granted we take stuff.
Yeah.
I think I was listening to quite a lot of the news and that, and I think people are still able to go to work as such, you know, within reason.
Yeah.
Work from home if you can, if your work involves coming into an office where you have to go to it. That's why London transport is still open, or transport's up and down the country and motorways. Maybe not running reduced service and stuff, that's reduce the numbers, but it's the government's way of saying, look, at the end of the day, we're not saying complete lockdown, but
just if you can,
you
try
see,
and limit it,
but you see some of, which is fair enough, but you see some of the scenes on the weekend because there's a bit of sun. People in like Bournemouth down the beach and that. I saw people in Battersea. I saw a reporter in Battersea Park, saying, you know, just some stats and figures and what's going on and that. There's people just rollerblading in the background. Just rollerblading, people queuing up for ice creams. And you're talking about like at the supermarkets as well. So loads of people on social media posting up after the Prime Minister, and I think who's done a decent job of saying, don't panic about food. Like the food supply coming into the country and the lorries going up and down and the trains and that delivering food, they work around the clock, there is enough food. Don't panic.
Did he categorically say that?
He said that. They've said, don't panic about food. There's enough food coming in.
Brilliant.
Please don't panic by it.
Yeah.
That
was said after the fact, though. Do you know what I mean? People doing ridiculous things like loo roll and that. I'm like, bro, like the food that you're stocking up on, there ain't enough fibre in there. You're not gonna need that loo roll. You know, like that. It just don't make no sense. But it does actually shows you, just a lot of human beings. It shows you what kind of people they are. It's very much like look after yourself, innit? Some of the scenes were ridiculous. I see man stealing ham from next man's basket and that, which was funny, but it's still ridiculous. You're stealing food from someone.
And some people are doing it from old people. Right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So, honestly, it's just at a time now, no one should panic. Be sensible. Don't take any unnecessary risks. Obviously, they've said if you're employed, you're fine, innit? You can get up to 80% of your salary. If you're self-employed, it could be very grim times. They're offering £90 a week, which is nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's one of them things where if you're a freelancer, you know what I mean, like us and other people, it could be peak times, bro. Do you know what I mean? And you see people outside and stuff, but honestly, mental health is a real thing right now, bro, because a lot of people get cabin fever. I'm one of them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
just having to stay
inside. Like, is enough to drive people mental, bro.
But on the flip
that's why I've been streaming at home on my game.
You got to do things like all these challenges that have been going around. It's really good, no matter how silly or small or difficult or easy. Imagine if we were doing these things, in a time with no social media, bro. I reckon a lot of people, like, would be harming themselves, bro. Like, in all honesty. But on the flip side of what you're saying about how difficult it can be to stay indoors, I get it. But at the same time, I think Piers Morgan was saying as well, like, we're not being asked to go and fight on the front line and with guns and protect the country like that. The best way we can protect this country is to just follow the rules, like where we can. Don't get me wrong. If you have to come to work, like, and come and do things as part of your livelihood, we've had to come do that today. In a small
but if you don't have to be out, don't be out.
Do you know what I mean? But people aren't doing that. People are literally going for jolly ups down the beach.
But the problem is with this
it's crazy, and the government are giving us enough warnings. They're gonna.
No, but it's this country. It's the culture, innit? What you have to realize is people in this country have been allowed to do whatever they wanted, for so long, that like. We don't realize how much freedom we actually have.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And the thought of that coming away.
When you look at countries like China and that, when they said don't leave your house, their man was shook to leave their house. They didn't have to tell them more than once.
Yeah, but they get mixed messages. How can you come out one day and go, no, we're going to keep everything open. It's calm.
Yeah. At the beginning, 100%.
What, here?
Yeah.
Are you talking about here?
It was mad mixed.
The reason why they gave mixed messages here is for one simple reason. They didn't want to tell everyone to shut the place down. They've got to build up slowly. Because then if they do that also, they have to pay out the insurance, bro. Yeah. If we say, for instance, we recommend that you don't go to drink at pubs. bruv, you can recommend all you like until you shut the pub, bruv.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but also, but you're, yeah, 100%. Exactly, but they put it on.
There you go. As
but
you
what
said,
they're doing
on the
is
package cigarette, they
they're
recommend
actually
you don't
giving,
smoke. They say
they're giving
smoking
these
kills.
small businesses a double-edged sword, because you're saying you can't shut and claim whatever you're entitled to claim because the government haven't said shut.
But we're going to tell
but
people
we've
not
just
to
put
come
an
to you.
advert to say a whole country don't go to a pub. So I feel it for those people. But what I'm talking about is post that. So now the bars are shut and the big gatherings are, the things are shut, the leisure centres, the gyms, etc. They're making an effort. I'm saying now, when they're saying, just try and stay in where possible. Now, don't get me wrong. I know it's a conflict thing because you could say, well, the parks are open. But they're saying just keep, when you're at the park, just that's fine. You can still go to the park, but just keep your 2 meters, whatever. There's people flipping, basically doing follow the leader. They may as well just do that.
Bruv, I see man playing cricket.
Isn't it though?
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know what I mean? You know, people playing cricket.
I see man playing
people
cricket. Nah, but you know.
Jump and wave. Jump.
Nah, but you know what's mad though, Flex? And what I was explaining to my friend as well.
It's mad.
It sounds easy, but also you got to realize, you see in London, because everyone's so overworked, yeah, and underpaid majority of the time, yeah, a lot of these people are like, bruv, like I get time to spend time with my family for the first time in years. A man are doing family outings and all these things, because they're like, bruv, like I'm always at work, fam, and now I'm not.
But you
at
have
work.
to think about the bigger picture.
You do have to think about the bigger picture, but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate,
But we can get through this a whole lot quicker if people just go, do you know what?
And with less
Let me
fatalities.
just follow, exactly, and that for me is the key thing. Yeah, it's great that the sun's out.
But
and all
there
that, but
goes the selfish element in a lot of human beings, bro.
100%.
Like that's what I'm saying. The stockpiling, going out with your family, all of this comes down to the selfish element. They're thinking, yeah, but I don't get to do this usually, and I want to do this, and I need food.
Me. If you went and done your weekly shop, just your normal weekly shop, you'll be able to go and do your next weekly shop the following Monday, and then the next, if everybody just bought their weekly shop.
Bro, Tesco are hiring. There's no chance here that we're going to run out of food or anything like that. They don't have enough people for the demand for everything. So we're going to be cool for food. We don't need to be doing this foolishness. So I would definitely recommend, that everyone just be sensible. I still go get my food every 2-3 days because I get fresh fruit and vegetables from the market.
100%.
Like, that's it. And I'm going to go every 2-3 days to get my food, bruv. I'm not stockpiling. What for?
On a positive note, we're talking about the positives that people are doing. I want to send a shout out to Obi Williams, actually, who's works very closely with Wilf Zaha. He got in contact with me and said, big fan of the show. Wilf watch it a lot. First of all, that's brilliant. But more importantly, obviously, I don't know if you saw with Wilf's
the NHS thing,
that they're letting in the NHS workers, and they've actually used all their properties because they're renting out properties that are no longer being used anymore.
Yeah.
Let's use it. So he got in contact with me. We got a big viewership. I just have to say this: if there's any of you guys watching out there who have like properties that you sublet that are now empty, but you're big viewers of the channel, etc., please get in contact with us. We're going to drop a link in the video description and some details of how you can basically put your place up for it. Gary Neville's done it with Hotel Football. Roman Abramovich has done it with the
That's
the
what I mean.
hotel.
A lot of people are doing some good things, and we need to focus on that too.
The details on that, there are even on Twitter. If you just go to @ZoProperties, or on Instagram @ZoProperties as well. If you know somebody else who, like I said, owns multiple properties that usually they're renting them out and they're just vacant right now, we need to get them to people of need. Even if it's for the homeless. Not we've got NHS staff, we've got homeless people. There's a need. There shouldn't be anywhere vacant when people are struggling. And I think if my mum even has to go back and work for the NHS, and she has to come back, she lives with my 2 younger brothers.
Loads of people coming out of retirement to help.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but then they're putting themselves in close proximity,
and they're
but then they can't quarantine away from their family. They have to go back to their family home, and really they could go back into a safer environment, i.e. a house or a hotel that's vacant. So please, at Zoe Properties, big project with Wilf Zaha and Obi Williams. They've been doing that, and they've been doing great work. So please look at the link in the video description for that. On a football note, they've extended the Premier League, suspension to the 30th of April. Is it 30th of April? Yeah, to the 30th of April instead of the 3rd. It was never going to come back on the 2nd or 3rd for me.
They'll play the games.
Do you still think that now there's no Euros and all that?
They'll play them probably behind closed doors.
Is it important for you that it finishes, or if it gets past a certain point, would you be like, you know what, if you have to avoid it?
If it goes past April the 30th, they might as well avoid it. And honestly, that's not just my United hat on. I'm also thinking about the fact that players barely get a summer holiday anyway.
That's definitely going to get cut short.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's going to get cut even shorter.
Because if you think about
players
the following
don't even
year,
get 6 weeks off, mate.
Never, and because they've got to go back on pre-season. And if you think about it, the following year,
Well,
where Euros is now 2021.
The only way they can do that is to scrap pre-season and go straight into
which
season. Which I wouldn't be averse, because you know what? If you're a professional athlete, you should be fit anyway. Do you know what I mean? You don't get unfit in 3 weeks. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, even if they play the season, stop it, and instead of having a pre-season, they just finish the season off. I don't think that's a bad idea, bro. Like, Paul Pogba's still training, Lindelof's still training. These men are still training.
But they're not match fit.
They're not match fit, but you get match fit by playing matches. So, play matches, bro. Do you know what I mean? If it means that instead of the Euros, in the same time we would have played the Euros, we play the rest of the
But there's only like 8 or 9 games left, I think. So if you say every team plays 2, even maybe 3 games a week.
Nah, that's
right,
too much.
two, right, let's say. But
Yeah,
Man United, you know, like when we get them mad runs that we've had when you're in all the competitions, you've got to play like 3 games in 8 days and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It happens. But what I'm saying is
doable,
that so where are we? April, going into April. If by end of April they say on the 30th, they say, all right, because I don't think on the 30th they'll go, right, we'll play tomorrow. On the 30th they'll go, right, maybe next week we'll do games behind closed doors. So let's say first week of May / second week of May. If they start then to maybe the end of July, they could fit that in.
Not the end of July. It wouldn't even have to be that long.
Sorry, June. End of June.
End of June. Well,
they could fit that in, innit?
Bruv,
and be done by end of June.
The Euros is how long? 3 weeks or something?
3 or 4 weeks, and that was due to start like.
Well, there you go. So we can fit 9 games in, 10 games in.
So really, in theory,
we can just replace the Euros with the Premier League fixtures, and then it
could be done by the end of June.
Yeah.
Then you've got all of July off, and then mid-August they could delay it, maybe start at the end. Could
the
start
Euros
season
are moved
September.
to next year.
Not Euros, European Cup.
And they'll just play
they
those
might scrap
after.
that.
No, they'll play the European Cup games in between them, but we can do it in 4 weeks.
I think the way that they should do it, they should just have like, you have the same way you'd have the 2 teams playing over 2 days or whatever, bag them 2 days and then just overlap, so there's always a 3-day gap. Bang out all the games, just like how they done over Christmas. Bang out all the
you just have a busy schedule. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You just have it's almost like the teams that aren't in all the competitions basically have a routine like they're in all the competitions.
Yeah.
Like say every team
so
was in the FA Cup or was in the
days,
Carabao Cup or was in the Champions League.
To make
you'd
it
have
fair,
quite a full fixture.
To make it fair, everyone plays every 3 days.
Not to be fuckery to the players, but your holidays now.
Yeah.
You know
they're definitely getting rest.
Yeah, but it won't be Maldives, blah.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't get to sit on that beach.
Yeah.
Your time off 3 months now.
Yeah. I think so. What do you guys think about potentially how this season is going to pan out? What do you think they should do?
I think there's too many financial implications for it not to fit.
Yeah, I definitely think.
I mean, the money that they owe for TV rights alone, they owe Amazon, BT Sport and Sky money, bro. Plus, obviously, the American, like the NBCs and all these other people that cover it, bro. Al Jazeera, ESPN.
beIN Sports.
Yeah, bro. It's nearly It's nearly 500 million.
Crazy.
Or something like that. Or
maybe which is why it's actually
I can't remember. It might have been billion.
It's actually in their best interest to just, even if you get it on behind closed doors, because you still get the TV rights, and that they will make loads of revenue.
Actually, I think between all the leagues, I think it was billions. I saw like 382 or something.
See, La Liga's been suspended indefinitely, and this brings it back to my original point, which is that okay, we can say that we should be alright by this time, but we're saying this, and this thing is changing daily, Rants. How do we know, which we don't know, at this summit, this peak that is going to come? No, everything's rising.
I think it'll be till June.
You don't know. We could have to go down in lockdown or self-isolation until May. And if that happens, then nothing ain't starting until June. So then there might have to be a cut-off point where they go, actually, it's September and we still haven't finished it.
I think the football will be behind closed doors, so it won't matter so much. Do you know what I mean? But I think for us, as people on a day-to-day, I reckon our lives won't go back to normal till at least June, July.
The same 12 weeks, isn't it?
Which is mad, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm going to spend my birthday in isolation, fam. In what, 3 weeks?
Wow.
Mental, bro. You know what I mean? I'll celebrate my birthday at home.
By the end of the day,
I had a small little, like, weekend resort thing booked. Spent my money. I better, bruv. They better give me that.
I've got some Sprite oils and that. I can give you them.
Bruv, I spent dough on that, bro.
Hold tight, Espa. I got buy the little bath oils things and I'll give them to you.
Bro,
little eucalyptus thing. That's
bruv, they better just give me my money back, or like they need to at least book me for when the thing reopens, because it's not closed at the moment. But you know what I'm saying, that man ain't going there, bruv. I'm gonna be there on my own, bruv. My flip flops, bruv, just empty. No, it's a bit mad still.
All right, guys, we've come to the end of this week's show. A lot spoken about, obviously. drop a like on the video, and always drop your comments, man. And get some questions in for the next show. Well, hopefully we can still do it in this capacity. We don't know what's going to happen as we're recording this. The Prime Minister's going to give his update in a few hours' time. There could be new measures, because the general consensus that you're getting from the government is that we kind of gave you guys quite a lot of warnings, and you're not really listening, and we're not scared to up the ante.
But to be fair, I think, as he said, I think it was too unclear. It wasn't firm enough at the beginning. It was like
at the beginning it wasn't, but since it now,
when you got Boris's dad, when you got Boris's dad's coming out saying, no, I might go to the pub. Do you know what I'm saying? I might need a beverage, like, you know.
No, but that was before they were shut.
He's gone to France.
Nah.
Got a French passport now.
No, 100%. But this is what I will say, that this
man
is a
said
fact, though,
we recommend you don't go pubs
100%.
unless it's urgent. And my man said I might need an urgent beverage.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know what
that bit of grey area was stupid. But since they have shut them things, the clear direction was, now we've shut these things.
But that's only been a couple of days, though, hasn't it?
That was from Tuesday, I think. Tuesday, Wednesday. We're now into, and people, but
no, Friday was when they shut the gyms and everything like that. So literally,
yeah. So but over the weekend.
Yeah,
nobody listened.
Because the sun came out, blood. You know what the English
and the sun's been out all today as well. And so they've been saying, to be fair, they're giving chances. But also, sometimes, and that's what I was going to say. Listen, this is what I'm saying. So about the chances, about this whole, we have to build up to this and that. We don't have to build up to nothing, because if they think, if we don't do this now, more people are going to lose lives, more people are going to be under threat by this. We have to just do it now. And you see the Italy reports. The doctor was saying, look at what we're going through. I cannot believe that the UK have not been in lockdown. You need to do it. I think that's what's coming very soon. We'll have to wait and see. So hopefully we'll see you guys same time, same place next week. Or if we don't, we might see you in a different capacity. We'll work that one out. But we're here for now. We're still going. Rants, big up the socials.
Rants and Bants on Twitter and Instagram. And also follow the YouTube channel. Man, got the live
What's your gaming? Have you got different gaming tags now or anything? Or shout them out?
Yeah, well, bruv, if they follow me anyway, like my Twitch is Rants and Bants official. And then, yeah, like, if you go on my YouTube anyway, man's live streaming every day, probably twice a day. Like, I had like 500 people on the live stream.
So you play FIFA on Xbox so you can avoid me?
Nah, brother, I'm on Xbox. I'm playing PES, bro. I'm playing PES.
Yeah, you're playing Pro.
I'm playing Pro, blood. And listen, yeah, man's doing my, I'm doing my, like, Master League with United.
Is it still called Master League?
Yeah, but it's United. It's like career
It's still
thing.
called United.
Nah, but yeah,
Man,
brother, have you seen the Old Trafford in Pro, blood?
Yeah,
Because they're one of the sponsors.
Yeah,
it's proper thing, bro. Are you mad?
Have you been Juventus on there?
Game faces, nah. No.
Don't do it.
Just United, bruv. Just United. I'm doing the mode, innit?
You played against West London Blue yet?
Bruv, did I beat Chelsea? I'm thinking. No, I drew with Chelsea.
North London Red.
1-1. I drew with Chelsea still. Tried to buy Wilf Zaha as well, blood. When I saw they wanted 60 million for him, I said, go away, bro.
You also had 60 grand for Sancho.
Yeah, I did,
instead
bro.
Of 60.
I offered 60 grand instead of 60 million for Sancho by accident. You know what I was there where I was chatting on the live. And I was like, yeah, 60 should get him. And then I see bare people, LOL. I was like, what, bruv? Then I turn around, the chairman's going, man,
was there not a little glitch in the thing where oh no, he said no.
No, he said you wasted my time. I can't believe I came down here.
Like 60's fair, and then you realise
60,000 plus one.
Yeah, do it, Arsenal, bro.
Yeah, but man's out here, bruv. We just got to keep each other positive, keep the vibes up, man, at this time. Because, as I said, what would we do without social media, without all these silly challenges and all that, bruv? It's brilliant. When I see people being Scrooge about it, it's like, bruv, shut up, innit?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's enjoying themselves. Everyone's
we've got to
staying
keep
at
positive
home
vibes somehow.
and trying to keep the energy up, you know what I mean? Because it is stressful times. A lot of families are losing incomes. Like, loads of different things are happening, bro. So we need to keep each other's energy up, man.
Absolutely. I am Flex U2D across all of the social platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And more importantly than all of that, make sure you're following the United Stand. Drop a like on the video and leave a comment in the boxes below. And he's at Josh Media. Yeah? Across all social platforms. There you go. Check out man like Josh. We will see you guys hopefully next week. Peace. Big thank you to you guys for watching the latest of our videos. And if you want to check out more, make sure you do that just to the right of me. We are the biggest and best Manchester United channel in the world. Make sure you check us out on all of the socials as well. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. The socials are along the bottom. Peace.